There we go. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, I hope, class, that you also saw my email about bringing an object that resembles a cone to class today. All right. It doesn't have to be an actual cone. You see, I've got mine here from the clinic. All right. Just something short that you are comfortable picking your knees and toes up and stepping over. All right. If you've been to this class before, you'll know exactly what we're going to be doing today. And remember, it can be a water bottle, anything just with a nice stable base. One last thing too, if you are not comfortable stepping over anything at all, okay, I mean, we can always just pick a line out on the floor as well, right? Just kind of imagine that we're stepping over something. I just really want to have an object there that's going to help you get some knee drive, right? We really want to be good at picking up those knees and toes there. So let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. And I want to begin seated today. I have a crescendo warm-up planned for this workout. And I found out what the opposite of crescendo was from Sue Ravenscroft. I think it was diminuendo, if I'm saying that right. It was a couple of days ago since I learned that, so hopefully I didn't forget how to say it already. But anyway, class, I want to get started here with a seated heel and toe raise, okay? So we talked a lot about picking up those toes, and that makes the muscles in the front of our lower leg work harder, all right? If I turn and do a side view here, all right, I'm just going to work on picking up my heel, right? That's going to work on the back of the lower leg. And then when I drive the heel to the ground and pick up the toes, that's going to work the opposite. It's going to work the front of my lower leg there, okay? So just a nice, easy warm-up to get those muscles activated before we really start to move them, okay? I'd like to go for 30 seconds. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Just pick up those toes, pick up those heels. Just back and forth, drive the toes into the floor, and then drive the heels into the floor, right? Really try to get those muscles in the lower leg working, front and back. About 10 seconds left. Very good. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now from here, class, I want to go into our seated knee drives, right? A good way to get these hip and knee flexor muscles, or extensor muscles, sorry, activated. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick a knee up, and I'm going to use my hand to resist the elevation and then resist the depression on the way down of that leg, all right, or the descent, all right? We'll go for about 30 seconds. I'll show a front view here. You're gonna get a little bit of an arm and shoulder workout here because, again, both of these limbs are opposing each other. And we're just gonna alternate back and forth. I want nice, controlled motion, right? We're not gonna speed through this one. We'll go for 30 more seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Keep those toes lifted as you do this as well, class, right? Keep working those lower anterior or front leg muscles. Drive those knees up. You're really going to feel it in your hip flexors and your quadriceps, right? Your thigh muscles in the front when you are pressing that leg down as opposed to just letting it fall, right? Resist that movement in the leg. Make your arms do some work to push them down, and then resist the elevation back up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, class, let's do some seated marching, okay? And I like the seated marching because we can really focus on our arm action while we're doing this as well. All right, so I'm going to work on just picking up my knees and toes. Remember, as my left leg comes up, my opposite arm's going to come up with it. My elbows are bent here. Now we're going to do 30 seconds of the seated marching. Go ahead and start with me. Excuse me, if you haven't already. And then we are going to go from seated right into standing. Now while we're doing our standing marches, we'll just do that for 30 seconds. If you want to maintain your standing marches while I do a brief upper body warm-up, you are free to do so. If you want to stand still and warm up your arms and shoulders with me, that is perfectly fine as well. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax. Let's come out of the chair. Excuse that squeakiness there, class. And we're just gonna go right into that standing march. Now remember, how do we make this tougher? If we remember the cardio class, we are getting those knees to come up higher, forcing our plant leg, right? The leg that's still on the ground, to be in a single leg balance position for a little longer. About 10 more seconds here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, if you want to relax, you can, or if you want to keep doing your marching, you can. We're going to do a little bit of a wrist warm up here. All right. So I'm going to work on marching or staying still while doing my supination, right? Pointing the palms up, and pronation, pointing the palms back down, right? We're rotating the arms here. All right. Just getting those palms to move up and down. I'm holding my arms out in front. Getting a little bit of shoulder work here, right? Because we have to hold the arms up against gravity. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Now, let those arms come down and dangle. Okay, let those shoulders get a little bit of a break. And now I want to go into our arm swing. So we're going to build on the supination pronation, and we're going to continue it as we do the arm swing, right? We're opening up our chest. We're pinching our shoulders as we open up that chest, and we're getting those thumbs to go up as we open up and back down to the floor as we close up that chest. All right, really work on pinching those shoulders here. Again, maintain those marches if you prefer. We're gonna go for about 10 more seconds here, class. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as well. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let those arms come down, and we'll relax our whole body here this time. I want to conclude our warm-up today with a calf raise, right? I love to use the warm-up to get some mobility work that we don't do during the workout and some assistance work that we don't always do during the workout. And the calf raise is going to be one of those today, right? We're going to focus on the front of the lower leg so much. I want to make sure we balance it out. Get the calf. So find a wall or a chair if you need it. I want to go with a 30-second set of calf raise. We're going to go double leg, all right? I'm just driving my toes into the ground, coming up as high as I'm comfortable, and coming back down with control, all right? So 30 seconds here in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Really get as much as you can out of this calf raise. Now we're only doing about 2 sets for each exercise, right? Like we have been doing so far this summer. So I just want to have this kind of be an attempt to balance out that work in the lower leg. About 5 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, let's go into our balance progressions. I'm going to stay near my chair or my wall if I feel like I need that balance support, okay? And I want to just really quickly go over. We have our wide feet set, narrow feet set, staggered stance, tandem stance, all right? Pick whichever one of those 4 you prefer. And then remember, we're going to bring both arms up and back down with control, or one arm up and back down with control. Okay, this is our last day of this particular set of progressions. We're gonna move on when we come back next week, okay? So we're gonna go for 4 sets of 20 seconds. Pick out which foot stance you'd like to do. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. I'm going with a wide stance today with both arms up and both arms down. Please continue to do whichever exercise you prefer, not just the one that I'm doing. Checking my time. About 6 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. If you're doing staggered or tandem, go ahead and switch your feet here. I'm going to go with the narrow set this time. All right? We're going to do set number 2. 20 more seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. There we go. I'm just kind of doing whatever one of these progression levels I feel comes to me. There we go. I can definitely feel my center of mass changing as my arms go out to the side and up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Switch your feet back once again. If you're doing those last 2 stances, I'm going to go staggered stance this time. Okay? Let's go ahead and go right into this 3rd set. Ready, class? Go ahead. Very good. Hopefully this balance work doesn't take too much rest in between. I really want it to be kind of just an extension of our warm-up here. All right. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. And let's switch feet one last time. I'm going to go tandem this time. Okay. We're going to go right into this final set here in 3, 2, and 1. One arm up and one arm down this time for myself. We want the balance work to be done at the beginning of the workout because balance is highly neurological, right? It's very highly controlled by your brain. And we don't want the muscles to be too particularly tired when we need that elevated level of control. That's why we want to make sure we do it when we have the higher amount of energy at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now from here, class, we're going to go into our power progression. So that is going to be those same 2 exercises we've been working on the past, I think 5 days now, right? And this will be our last day doing these 2 particular progressions. It doesn't mean that we won't come back to them. It just means we're not going to be doing them each and every single session anymore. I'm going to get us on a rotation starting next week. So, if you remember, we have our catch step, and we can do that holding our heavy weights. Allow gravity to start your progression there, okay? 2 sets of 30 seconds, alternating right and left. If you're already holding your heavy weights, then you can go right into your hip thrust. Just remember, you can also put yourself in front of a wall for that catch step, okay? Now, that hip thrust class, just finding a good athletic position, 2 sets of 6 on that exercise. Remember, we're exploding through the hips, pinching the glutes together at the top, and getting these dumbbells to rise up above the shoulder because of the hips, not the arms. All right? I'm actually going to start us with the catch step, but I'm going to get this stuff out of my way so I don't trip on it. Okay? So, find your wall. If you need it, grab your weights. If you want to hold on to them, we're going to go with our first set of 30 seconds together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Allow gravity to do the work, to get your body forward. Make your brain react to it. Keep your breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try to get a little bit larger step than you might do normally, right? We're trying to get just outside that comfort zone. Getting functionally longer here. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. I'm going to turn my camera back to the centered view. There we go. Got my nice chair in the background there. I'm going to find my heavy weights. We're going to go into our first set of 6 on the hip thrust. All right? So I'm going to find my good athletic position. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. 1, 2, pinch those glutes. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very nice job there, class. Take a second or 2 if you need. All right, I'm going to go into our last set of that catch step. All right, this time I'm going to hold my weights as opposed to having the wall in front. I'm still going to allow gravity to initiate my forward movement. I'm actually going to put one of my weights down so I can hold my stopwatch. All right, let's go ahead with our final set here in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Catch that body weight, right? Center of mass gets out of balance. We gotta be able to get that leg out quick to catch it. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. This makes me think we should do some diaphragmatic breathing next week too. That'd be a good idea. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good, class. Now, let's get our final set of our hip thrusts, and then we'll go into our more strength-focused supersets, all right? So I'm actually gonna go to the frontal view this time. I don't do that very often. So I'm gonna get set athletically. I got my heavy weights. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up, back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice job. I almost kept going to 10 there. All righty. Go ahead and relax. So I lost count there because I'm already thinking about what we got to do next. I'm going to try my best to get all 3 supersets in there today. And I actually have 2 new exercises that we have not done in this class before that I want to try to introduce at the before the cardio. So right now, I'm going to place my cone, water bottle, whatever it is I have in front of me, okay? Or just a line on the floor, okay? Like I said earlier, just a line on the floor is fine, as long as you're pushing yourself to really pick up the knees and the toes, all right? This is gonna be our linear stepping mechanics drill, okay? So we're just working on stepping forward and back like we've been doing, okay? But now we're gonna have a little different focus, okay? If some of you might remember from past sessions, I like to introduce a little bit of stomping to this exercise. So hopefully none of you live in a house that has maybe people in the basement or an apartment or something that has people below you, okay? You might be annoying them for a couple minutes, but we won't do it for too long. So you also don't have to stomp at all if you don't want to, okay? But I'm gonna give a side view. I'm still stepping forward and backward. I'm gonna start with my right leg, okay? And I'm gonna work on picking my knee up, picking my toes up, and placing my foot exactly where I want it to go, okay? The analogy I like to use for this class is playing that crane game at the arcade, the one that has that big claw, and you try to move it around and drop it right on the stuffed animal that you want, and you try to pick it up and drop it in that little hole so you can win it, right? We want to have that level of control, maybe better than we do than with the crane game, with our foot. You want to be putting that foot exactly where you want it. Now, the stomp, okay? I'm not going to hurt myself when I do this, but I'm going to come down, get a stomp here, and a stomp there, okay? We want that extra impact because that's going to positively influence our bone mineral density going all the way through the foot, lower leg, knee, thigh, and hip. That's especially important for the bone mineral density around the hip, okay? So, again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But instead of doing 20 seconds like we've done in the past, I want to do 30 seconds, okay? So we'll do 30 seconds of forward, backward, stomping steps on the right and left. And then I want to go into our band pull apart, okay? Now, we did that earlier this week. I can't remember if it was Monday or Wednesday, but it's such an important exercise. I wanted to kind of show it again, okay? So I have my band here, and I'm gonna grab my band around the outside. I'm gonna wrap it up, okay? Just because that's what I prefer. I hate having those handles flopping around. You can also grab it here if the handles flopping around doesn't bother you. I got my palms facing down. It's like I'm giving somebody a fist bump, okay? Now, I'm just gonna work on getting the outsides of my hands to spread out to the walls on either side of me. I'm pinching my shoulders back, and I'm getting this band to come in contact with my chest because of the expansion of my chest that happens when I pinch my shoulders, right? You might recognize that from the arm swing, right? That exercise directly mimics this one here, all right? We'll do 2 sets of 10 with every set of 30 seconds on each leg for the stepping mechanics, all right? Now, I got my stopwatch here. I want to go ahead and start our first set of 30 on each leg. So find your object or your line. Find a chair or wall if you need extra balance support. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up, stomping on either side of the cone, all right? I want you to be in complete control of where you're placing that foot, right? We're playing the crane game here. There we go. I hope I don't have anybody beneath me in this dance studio. They're gonna wonder what's going on. 10 seconds left. Get that stomping in there, right? Get some good impact for those bones. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let's switch sides. I'm just gonna step over now. Do the same thing on the left leg. Let's go ahead and go right into it. Go ahead. There we go. Stay in control. We don't have to take a really big step like we do on the catch step, right? Just work on getting the knees and toes to come up. We still have 10 seconds left. Get good stomps. Put that heel down into the ground with some force. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let's find our bands. Now, you don't really have to even put your band down, right? You could probably just hold your band while you're doing your stomping. But I'm going to grab my handles and wrap up some excess. Hopefully not too much. And we're going to go ahead and knock out our first set of 10 here. Okay? Find a good athletic position. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out and back in. That's 1. Pinch those shoulders every single rep. That's 2. 3, 4, chest comes out to meet the band. 5, 6, nice controlled reps. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. I'm actually going to take my own advice and just kind of hold on to my band here. I want to go one more time through on the stepping mechanics going forward and backward, all right? And we're still gonna stomp for this set, all right? Let me find my stopwatch here. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Good stomps. Try to make the same footprint with every step, right? Try to land in the same footprint over and over. I have my tennis kids do that when we do our jumping drills for muscular power, right? Make the same footprint. Be in control of your body. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side here, class. Last time through on the forward, backward steps. Let's go right into it. Go ahead. Very nice. I may have said this already, class, but right, we want that impact loading for the bone mineral density, right? The purpose for that, right? Osteoporosis, right? Affects men and women, okay? It's gonna be beneficial for anybody, any age too, right? Get that bone mineral density up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying over the stomping, all right? But let's knock out our last set of the band pull apart, okay? But I'm gonna go without the handles this time. I know it's gonna bug me, but just to show both versions is how you can do that, all right? Let's go ahead and go right into this last set of 10. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1, 2, 3, I think, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, class, go ahead and grab a sip of water. If you're using your water bottle as your cone, you can just grab that, right? Get a sip of water. I now want to go over our next superset. The first exercise for this is going to be our lateral stepping mechanics, right? So I want to be balanced in terms of direction. And with our lateral steps, I'm going to now step forward and to the side. So I'm kind of lined up next to my cone. I'm going to pick up my knee and my toes. I'm going to stomp on this side of my cone and come back down. Now, we haven't done the stomping in the lateral sets in the past. The reason why I want us to continue that is because in the past, we did about 4 sets, okay? And because I've cut everything in half with the resistance to make everything fit, that means we're only getting 4 sets total. So I believe that we can have our stomping, if you want to do the stomping, be done over all 4 sets today, okay? So if you stomped forward, backward, you can continue doing this here. The reason why I stopped the stomping for the second half of the superset in the past was because the stomping is only beneficial for a little while, right? I'm not going to get into all the big terms and stuff like that, but truthfully, your impact loading is only good for a little while because the sensitivity of your bones to change is only at a high enough level for the first couple sets of that. The sensitivity goes down, and then the stomping becomes kind of useless after a while, okay? But we can still do 2 more sets worth on each leg here today, all right? Now, the exercise I want to pair with that today, class, is going to be our overhead press. So I'm going to get my chair in here, maybe on the side, so it's not my way. But if you remember, we can do this seated or standing, okay? I'm going to have my lighter weights here, class. I want the lighter weights because we're going to be doing 15 reps of this, right? So 15 reps is more of our endurance type set. We want to be going with lighter weights. So I'm going to be sitting nice and tall or standing. My palms are going to be facing my body, so you should be able to see the backs of my hands here. I'm going to rotate my palms out to face forward as I press up. And then I'm going to rotate them back into the starting position as I come back down to my collarbone or chest level, okay? That'll be 15 reps there. Now, again, if we're a little wary of overhead resistance, we can go with our lateral raise instead. Now, that lateral raise, we can go with our bent arm. That's going to be a little easier than the straight arm, okay? I'm just going to then pick up my shoulders, lift those dumbbells up, from this starting position, all right? It's like we're making the goalpost, the starting position for the goalpost, right? This exercise here, that starting position begins basically at the end of our bent arm lateral raise, okay? Now, again, if you want to make that tougher, just straighten those arms out and come up with those arms straight. Have the weight out farther away from your center of mass, okay? Now, just remember that one little detail here. If I'm going to be doing the straight arm raise, I want to make sure that I'm going forward slightly, not just going straight out, right? It's going to be better for our shoulder mechanics if they come forward a little bit as we raise out to the side, okay? 2 sets of 15 reps for that exercise. I'm going to put these here. All right, let's find our object or line on the floor for our stepping mechanics. Remember, we're going lateral. And I think we'd be okay to do the stomping if you want to continue, all right? We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. There we go. Just like before here, class, be in complete control of where that foot goes. Land in the same footprint, like we're getting that stuffed animal out of there. Pick up those knees and toes. 10 seconds to go. Uh-oh, my shoe's coming untied. Keep your breathing as well. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. I'll tie it after we finish the superset. Go ahead and switch sides. Now you're going to walk to the other side of your cone, and we're going to do the same thing here. All right? Let's go ahead and go right into it. Ready? Go ahead. Get that good stomp. Don't step out too wide here, right? Just put that foot down in a comfortable position. There we go. Think about your breathing here as well, class. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Think about expanding the stomach as you breathe in and then having the stomach recede as you breathe back out. We'll talk about that more next week. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now, let's find our light weights. We can do all of these seated or standing, whatever you prefer. And I'm gonna go with the overhead press for set number 1. I'll do a version of the lateral raise for set number 2, all right? But we're gonna go ahead and get started with 15 reps in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up and back down. That's 1. Control your body here, class. Back down. That's 2. Rotate those palms out and back in. That's 3, 4, pressing straight up. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hopefully my shirt's staying down. 11, 12, 3 more here. 13, 14, and 15. Very nice job there, class. I'm gonna set those down where I'm not gonna trip on them. And I'm gonna go back to my cone. Got my stopwatch here. Let's knock out our last 2 sets on each leg for our cone for the day. We're gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Get that stomping in there one last time for that right or left foot. It really doesn't matter to me which foot you start with. Just make sure you're getting an even amount of work on each side. About halfway through, keep it up. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let's come around to the other side of the cone, and we're gonna do it again. Ready? Go ahead. There we go. One last set of picking up those knees and toes here, class. Very good. About halfway through this final set. Keep it up. Keep that breathing, right? Expand that stomach as you breathe in. Let it come back to its normal position as you breathe back out. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Our final set of the lateral raise or overhead press, 15 more reps. I'm going to go with the straight arm raise, but I'm going to go with a kneeling position. All right. Again, you do not have to kneel for anything. All right. Let's knock out our last set together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1. Remember, I'm going slightly forward. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Find a nice pace here. 7, 8, about halfway through. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 2 more. 14, and 15. Very good. Now, really quickly, class, I'm going to tie my shoe. Grab some water here. Catch your breath if you need to. And again, these 2 exercises are a little newer. All right. But the first one's going to involve our resistance band. And I might actually want to turn because we're going to want a wall for this one. Okay. And what I'm trying to mimic here, class, I've had this idea for a couple weeks. But what I'm trying to mimic here, class, is if you remember the functional trainer, right, that cable machine that we have in the clinic, or if you've just been to a gym and you know they have that cable machine, you can do all kinds of rows, pull downs, bicep stuff, all kinds of stuff. Well, I'm trying to find a way to mimic that a little bit. And what I want to focus on is the rotator cuff, all right? So we've done rotator cuff work before, right? We've done the band pull apart with the palms up and the elbows bent to really work on that set of muscles in the back of the shoulder, okay? And there's a way that we can do that single arm here, and it's going to involve grabbing the end of your band. Now, if you have this type of band here, class, all right, you're going to want to grab the handle. You don't have to wrap up any excess, okay, because of how we're going to establish our anchor, okay? We used to talk a lot more about anchors in the past, but a resistance band exercise needs to have an anchor, all right? If it doesn't have an anchor of any kind, then you're just pulling it, right? It's not going to resist you at all. So I'm going to push this back a little bit. We're going to establish an anchor here by pinning this band up against the wall with our free hand, okay? So, I wish I had a cameraman here. Intern, that's what the interns would be good for here, right? But, so I have the band handle here. I have the band kind of loosely in my palm out away from the handle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna pin that band. Hopefully you can see that. I am pinning the band up against the wall here, okay? I'm pressing it into the wall. I'm not gonna allow it to go anywhere if I were to pull on this handle, okay? That's what I'm doing with my free hand. Now, with my opposite hand, the one that has the handle, what I'm gonna do is work on keeping my elbow bent, okay? And hopefully you all can see this well enough. But my elbow is bent about 90 degrees, and I'm keeping my elbow pushed up against my torso. Something that people can do, I just grabbed my wallet here because it was the closest thing. Something I've had people do in the past is they'll pull out and they'll let their elbow come out, okay? That changes the exercise. That means you're not doing the muscle, working the muscles I want you to. So if you have a piece of paper or something that's small and thin and isn't gonna hurt your skin or your elbow, place it in between your torso and your elbow and think about just not letting it fall, right? If I allow my elbow to come out, that's gonna fall. So that's gonna be a good way to keep our elbow in that position. Just don't use something that's gonna hurt while you're doing this, all right? I wanna get 10 reps on each arm doing this external rotation this way. So just to kind of show that movement, here's my setup again. I have my handle in one hand, part of the band in my free hand. I'm gonna pin that up against the wall, and now I'm in position where I can now pull. You see now from here, I'll just kind of do a frontal view. From here, class, I'm going to pull at that handle, not allowing the band to move from the anchor, and I'm gonna work my rotator cuff. Now you see here, I'm holding on to it out in free space. That's not my favorite way to do it because sometimes people will let this hand come with it and they'll twist their torso and they'll think, oh, I'm getting my rotator cuff to work here. And you might be a little bit, but really now it's just the rotation of our torso that's making it look like my shoulder's getting back there, right? And you still might feel your muscles working there, and that means that they're working, but they're not gonna be working as well as if you kept the anchor still, okay? If you wanna still do this out in free space and just do a really good job of holding this arm still, you can. I just think it's gonna be a lot easier to pin it up against the wall and really simulate that machine that we have, all right? So hopefully I did a good job of showing that and explaining it. It's kind of awkward here, trying to do it up against the wall with the camera. But anyway, class, let's go ahead and try 10 reps on each side. We have plenty of time before cardio, all right? 10 reps on each side, and then I wanna show you my core workout that I'd like to pair with this in the future, okay? So find your band, press up against the wall. We're gonna get 10 on the right and 10 on the left in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1. Go to a point of mild discomfort, not pain here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe that's a better view. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, I might have said this in the past, rotator cuff work for the muscles should feel like a burning, okay? It shouldn't be a super unpleasant burning, okay? But it should feel like there's a burning sensation kind of covering the whole shoulder there, okay? If you're feeling that and you're wondering about it, I'm just letting you know that that's normal. If you're feeling pain, we need to either pick a different exercise, and that'll be something I will do, okay? We'll do something else as a modification, or it might be something that I can try to help you with an exercise that might help alleviate that pain, all right? So let's go ahead and knock out our last half of this set. 10 more reps together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out and back in. That's 1. Keep that elbow in place. 2. I'm not going to let my wallet fall out. That's 3. I don't want to lose my money. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Oh, I lost my money at the end. All righty, class. So we got 10 on each side. I think that's pretty good. When we are more familiar with that exercise in the future, we'll go a little quicker and we'll knock out 2 sets of 10 on each arm there. Now I'm going to turn you back toward my chair because we have a core workout that I want to do. And remember, virtually every core workout that I have, right, one that doesn't involve standing, is going to have a progression in a chair for those of us who may not be comfortable getting onto the floor, okay? So I have my chair here, and we've done all kinds of things, Russian twist, leg raise from the chair, right? And now we're going to add a bicycle crunch to this exercise, to our toolbox, I guess, if you will, of exercises. And I think a side view might be beneficial for this one. What I'm going to do is have us set up very similarly to how we set up the Russian twist, okay? I'm sitting kind of in the front of my seat, but I'm still stable, right? I don't want to scoot forward to where I fall off the chair, okay? Now I'm going to lean back. I'm going to let the back of the chair keep me comfortable, right? So I know that I'm not going to fall off the chair backwards, but I'm not going to rely on the back of the chair to keep me up. Because if I just rely on this chair, now gravity's not making my ab muscles do any work, okay? Now from here, class, we can have our arms be held in front of our chest if we're more comfortable, kind of like a goblet hold when we're doing our squats and other exercises like that. Or we can do the more traditional position and we can put our hands on our head. This is going to be tougher, putting the hands on the back of the head or the top of the head than holding it on the goblet hold, okay? Now, my legs can start on the floor or they can start in the air, okay? If you remember that Russian twist, being on the floor is going to be easier. You're just going to work on picking up those legs, right? And we already did this exercise in the warm-up, right? We did that seated knee drive. Now we're just sitting back and making the legs work as we go, okay? And I'm keeping my toes pointed up to the ceiling as I lift my knees as well, right? That's how we can fit our walking mechanics, our stepping mechanics in here as well, all right? Now, a little tougher version of that is going to be having the legs stay up, all right? And you're going to work on picking up each leg one at a time as you go. Now, one last detail. I know I've been talking a lot here. One last thing we can do is when we bring up a leg, we can try to bend forward and really get that crunch in there, whether we're on the floor or in the air, okay? Bringing one leg up at a time, bending forward. I can do that with my hands here as well, all right? So a lot of different ways we can do that exercise. I'm gonna get 30 seconds put on my timer, and then we're gonna go into our cardio, all right? And I kind of did a bunch of work there already, so my abs are kind of tired. But let's go ahead and go right into it. So find a position that's comfortable. Hands on the chest, hands on the head, feet up or down, all right? We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Try to get one leg up at a time, right? Try to control your body. Get one leg up as you go and keep the other one still. Checking my time, we're halfway through here, class. Keep it up. Remember, we're only doing one of these today just because of time. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now, because that exercise is new, right, there are adjustments that I'm sure I'll be making to it, right? That's the first time I've run it. There are tweaks that I'm sure can be made. I'll analyze this video later on. I'd also love feedback from you, either in an email or after class. Let me know what you thought of these 2 new exercises, right? If we all hate them, I'll get rid of them. If we like them, I'll keep them, right? So let's go ahead and get our cardio going here. And I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing for my cardio, right? I don't always remember every little thing in my workout, sorry. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna go with our forward, backward marches today as one exercise. And we're gonna go with our step overs, all right, as the other one, right? So we're kind of playing on that linear stepping mechanics today. We're doing a little more dynamic version of that. So our forward, backward marches, or sorry, not step overs. I said step overs, I meant straddle steps, okay? Straddle steps today, class, I apologize for that. So forward, backward marches. We're gonna work on taking a couple steps forward and a couple steps back, right? I'm getting bigger and smaller, right? Because I'm covering some distance there. It doesn't have to be a defined space, just maybe 5 or 6 steps up, 5 or 6 steps back. I'm getting my good arm pumps in there with it as I go, right? As a side view there, right? Keep your posture up as well. We don't want to start getting tired and moving around like this, right? Keep the chest out, keep the shoulders pinched. Now, the straddle step, and this is why it didn't make sense to me, because the step over is also forward, backward, right? It's supposed to be straddle step, because the straddle step is our lateral, right? So we're playing on the forward, backward, and the lateral there from earlier. So just that straddle step, remember, we're getting a set athletic position, just like in the exercise before. I'm stepping out wide, wide, narrow, narrow. I'm gonna make that a little quicker if I want. I can step out a little wider if I want, or I can get lower, okay? Just remember one precaution there, class. On your first step out wide, don't get too wide to where now you can't get that other one out very wide, and now you're stuck in this position that I gotta be careful getting out of, all right? So we're gonna do 3 sets of 45 seconds for the forward, backward marches, and then 3 sets of 45 seconds for the straddle step, all right? So we're gonna get started with the marches in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Forward, backward. Get those arm pumps in there, class. Remember, I can't see all that well. Those little boxes, I have some boxes of you, some of you there on the side there. I can't really see who's who, but I can maybe kind of see some bodies getting larger and smaller, hopefully like mine looks as well. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, checking my time. We still have 15 seconds left here, class. I already know that I'm gonna go over time a little bit, but what's new there, right? I'm gonna go to a side view for the next set there, just to really show those arm pumps there. Having a good elbow bend. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Straddle steps here, class. Step out wide, wide. Narrow, narrow. Find a good pace. Remember, you can also start with your left foot, your right foot. You can alternate, whatever you prefer, right? That's how we make our brain work a little bit with these exercises too, right? We still got 15 seconds left before our next transition. And like I said, I'm gonna go into a side view for that forward, backward march. I really wanna show the arm position there again. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Forward, backward marches. Check your posture here too, class, right? Drive those elbows back. Hopefully you can see my arms are bent, maybe about 90 degrees or so. And I'm thinking about driving my elbows back behind my torso, right? Imagine there's somebody behind you and they made you mad and you're gonna try to elbow them, right? We want a big range of motion from the shoulder, and driving those elbows back is how we get it, okay? Big range of motion from the shoulder is really gonna help our stride here as well. Checking my time, 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Back to the straddle step one more time, or sorry, second time. There we go. Now check your posture here as well, class. I'll do a side view for this one. Keep the chest out, keep the shoulders pinched. This is gonna take us to the 3-minute mark here, class. Keep pushing through. We've got 15 seconds left before our final set of each exercise. I want you to have the same intensity at the end as you started with in the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Forward, backward marches one last time. Find a pace that's going to be comfortable for you here. We can modify this exercise similarly to how we do the modified straddle step too, or the marching straddle step. We can get lower. We can take bigger steps, right? Or we can go faster, all right? Back and forth. Now, if you're gonna go quicker, make sure you keep a good forward lean here. You see me from the side. Don't fall backwards, right? Keep a forward lean as you go. Should have said that earlier. Checking my time, 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Straddle steps. Last time through. Keep it up here, class. We got the cool down next. Still got 30 seconds left. Stay with it. We're doing great. Big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep that posture. 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. I feel that one in my calves. I feel the marching straddle step in my calves quite a bit. Maybe that's a good way to kind of equalize the calf work versus the front lower leg work. I'm going to go to the gallery view here, class, and I'll wait for thumbs whenever you're all ready. Awesome. Steve, you got a little emoji there in the corner. Thumbs up emoji in the corner on your screen. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. There we go. I don't know if you meant to do that. There we go. Got more thumbs there. Awesome. Oh, there's one on Carol's screen too. Did you put that emoji on there, Carol? You did? Oh, Steve must have done that too. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's cool. I didn't know that you could put emojis up on the screen. You are more technologically proficient than I am, all right? So let's go ahead and go into our cool down. Here we go. I'm going to start us off with a calf stretch, okay? I know that we didn't work on the calves specifically in the workout, but we did in the warm-up. So I want to follow that up. Plus, if we don't do the stretch, because I don't really have plans, class, to do our calf workout really in the workout anymore, just because I think that with trying to fit everything in, there are more important things to do than just a calf exercise. So if we do it, we'll do it in the warm-up, and then we'll still do the stretch. That way we can still do it. But we have two versions of this calf stretch here, class. I can go with a staggered stance, right, and keep my back heel flat and then lean forward. I have a chair or a wall here, okay, for that support. The second version we can do this with is if I put my foot up against the bottom of the wall or the bottom of the chair, hopefully your chair doesn't slide like mine is, you can then lean forward and get your stretch that way, okay? We'll go for 30 seconds on each side. Well, we'll make it 20 today just because of time, all right? I apologize for that. We'll go 20 seconds on each leg here. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. Halfway through, really get a good stretch. I know I'm not giving you a ton of time, just 20 seconds on each side. That's my fault. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. So that is the front heel emphasis, is what I call that one, the calf stretch, that version of it. I'm now going to do the back heel emphasis, right? So getting that back heel flat to stretch it. 20 more seconds here, class. I've got my wall or chair out in front. You want to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth during all these stretches. As always, class. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now from here, class, I want to get some work for the upper body done too. And one stretch that's really going to get the band pull apart complemented is going to be that arm reach across, okay? So I'm going to get a good athletic position. I'm going to pinch a shoulder back, right? We always want to start that stretch with pinching the shoulder back and then bringing the arm across. Think about not pulling the arm across, but pinching that shoulder and kind of compressing the arm into your chest a little bit, all right? I'm bracing on the forearm or the upper arm, not the elbow. Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. There we go. I'm going to add a little dip to this stretch here. Maybe get a little extra stretch there if I want to. Remember, that's always an option. We don't have to add the dip of the shoulder if you don't want to. Just make sure that shoulder blade stays in place when you do it. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Let that arm come down and dangle. Let's do the same thing now on the other side, all right? So I'm gonna pinch a shoulder back, bring the arm across. Go ahead. Remember, I'm pushing it into my chest, keeping my shoulder blade in place. Add that little dip in there. The dip is good as long as you're not losing your shoulder blade position, right? Keep that shoulder blade pinched in there. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now, from here, class, I want to go into our modified sleeper stretch, okay? So that one, it's not quite the same position as our rotator cuff work from earlier, but it's still really going to help get those muscles stretched there. So we're going to, again, kind of set up our arm like we're doing or having an arm wrestling match, right? So not in front, not out to the side, but kind of rotated out about halfway. I'm going to let my arm come down and gently push on it, right? Nice gentle push on the wrist or the hand. I think I have more leverage for my push on the wrist as opposed to the hand, all right? I've probably been talking for about 10 seconds. We'll go for 10 more seconds here, class. Be gentle with yourself here. Really important that you're gentle on this stretch. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Go ahead and switch sides for me here, class. Go ahead and start. Again, you can have your arm, your elbow kind of supported on that table, on the table edge, and then having your hand come down over the side if you're comfortable with that. A couple more seconds here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So one more stretch that I want to do for us here, class, to really kind of help complement the overhead press is going to be the back scratch test. And that's a stretch that we want to be doing consistently, whether we have an exercise that focuses on our shoulders or not, okay? Pretty much every day we're going to work on our shoulders in some way, all right? But that back scratch test is something we should be doing consistently, regardless. So I'm going to start with my right arm up and over because that's the side that I'm better with. And I'm going to do a side view so we keep our posture, all right? Or at least try to remember to do so. So 20 seconds here, class. I'm gonna bring my right arm up and over and my left arm down and around, trying to reach those fingertips together. And again, pinch the shoulder blades, push out the chest. And remember to breathe. Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. We'll go for a little longer on this one, because I hit my start button a little early. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Now let those arms come down with control. Just like we talked about on Wednesday with the tricep stretch, we want to be careful with our shoulders. Now the side that I'm not very good at, I'm going to get my left arm up and over and my right arm down and around. Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. It's a little back view again. Just kind of showing what I'm doing. The arm that goes up is going to have the palm be flat on the back. The arm that goes down and around is going to have the back of the hand be in contact with your back there. Trying to touch those fingertips together. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Coming out with control. From here, class, I want to go into our, I want to go into our hamstring stretch, all right? We're going to hold this one for about 30 seconds, right? Longer than the others. And then I'm going to take us over to that bench once again and just go over our supine quadricep stretch for the day, okay? But hamstrings first. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a side view here, kind of a side frontal view. I'm going to stick my heels into the floor here, class. Keep my back nice and flat, and I'm going to lean forward. Get this stretch in my hamstrings here. We'll do both legs together. Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. And you know what? I'm forgetting a stretch. We still have to stretch the muscles in the front of our lower leg. I almost forgot. So we'll get this hamstring one for 15 more seconds with good posture, right? We'll do our ankle circles, and then we'll go to our quadricep and hip flexor stretch. And we really want to do that one today because we worked on those muscles a lot as well. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. So the ankle circles here, class, we do this one because, to be completely honest with you, I don't have like multiple great stretches for the muscles that we find in the front of the lower leg. So we're just going to put our legs into a position to where we can feel a stretch there, okay? And that's gonna be with our ankle circle. So I'm gonna hold my leg up here. I don't have to do that. If you wanna let your leg kind of be a little more relaxed and hang down, you can. I'm just doing this for the camera, all right? And I am going to work on drawing as big of a circle as I can with my toes. Okay, similar to our neck rolls, right? When we think about drawing circles with the chin, okay? I'd like to do 30 seconds on the right leg, 30 seconds on the left leg, and I'd like to do 15 seconds of counterclockwise on the right, 15 seconds of clockwise on the right, and vice versa for the left, okay? So it's gonna be about a minute total, and I will let you know as we go, all right, when I want you to switch. So I'm gonna start off going counterclockwise on my right foot, okay? And we're gonna get started for 15 seconds. In 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. I think that's counterclockwise. Yeah, counterclockwise, there we go. I had to think about that one for a second there, class. Drawing circles, counterclockwise circles with the right foot. Really emphasize pointing the toes in that circle, right? Get that area of your body to stretch. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Now, take it back the other direction. Same foot, take it back the other direction. Now I'm going clockwise. 15 more seconds. took you for about 20 on the last set. Sorry about that. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Let's let that leg rest. We're going to switch sides now. I'm going to go to my left foot, and we're going to do 15 more seconds going counterclockwise. You can choose which way you want to go first. Just remember which way you're going on the first set. Go ahead. There we go. Really emphasize pointing the toes forward when you get to that part of your circle. That's what's really going to get the stretch in the lower leg muscles there in the front, right near your shin bone or your tibia. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take it back the other direction. There we go. Emphasize the pointing of the toe. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, really quickly here, class, just to go over that quadricep stretch once again, okay? I'm going to go over this really uncomfortable bench. I'm going to cover my camera so I'm not giving anybody motion sickness while I'm moving around, okay? That's my thumb that you're seeing. Now, this bench here, class, is going to simulate a bed or a low stretching table, right? We want to have this because it's going to allow our legs that range of motion, that room to really stretch there. So I have this is from a piano here in the dance studio. There we go. Remember, I'm going to lie down on this bench and I'm going to be on the edge. If I'm on a bed or something like that, I'm going to get this leg that you see here in the camera to come back. Now remember, the position of that leg depends on you, your height, the height of your object that you're laying on, your range of motion, but you're just trying to get this foot to come back and get a nice stretch in the front of the thigh and the hip. Once again, when you want to switch sides, just kind of move your body around and do the same thing. Just be somewhere that's long enough so you're not having to hold your head up like me, okay? Now, once again, if you do not like those ones, we can go with our standing quad pull, right? That's always an option. We can go with the staggered stance, quadricep stretch. I need to get like a stretching table in here for this. Staggered stance, quadricep stretch, or we can also go with that assisted kneeling stretch, right, in the chair. And since we're doing these more off camera, okay, you can hold those for however long you prefer. Just make sure that you get both sides, okay? So that's all that I have for you for today, class. I want to thank you so much for participating with me once again. I hope that you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.